What is up, guys? Welcome to the
Hello and welcome to Truth and Transparency. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Transparency. Welcome to Truth and Transparency. Not sure if this is working.
Today is not a day to celebrate. With the arrest of Richard M. Allen of Delphi.
Let's do it. Take care, Miss Vargas. See you soon, Miss Vargas. Paparazzi, stop. What is up, guys? There's been a leak. It's not been made official, but I think Ann Taylor and company did it. So I believe that this is moving. My source is honestly, I'm not going to reveal my source, but one of my sources is the Goncalves family social media post. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. So with that said, I think that Judge is out. I think that there's going to be a new judge, and I believe that this is moving, and this is... It's not going to be in Moscow. So those of you guys that said it wouldn't happen, it happened. So what do you guys think? What I mean by what I'm saying is, I was kind of just shocked. I have no problem saying how shocked I was about it. And I personally believe that JLR's source is the Goncalves family. I could be wrong, but I have no problem, like I said, saying that. It's my thoughts. So I'm going to share my community page post because there's a couple of things that I want to make sure everybody realizes, which is... let me show this. Do you think Judge is overwhelmed? Judge, I believe, is out. I mean, that's what I believe. All right. So I said, breaking news, Kaylee Goncalves' parents, Bryan Kohberger, is responsible for the Georgia shooter. I was so confused, you guys. So I want to explain my post here from a day ago. I said, my heart aches for Steve and Christy because if Moscow, in my opinion, police department, as well as ISP and other agencies that were involved in this case would have done their job with, like I just said, their daughter's case, I don't believe that we would be on the path that we are on right now. So this is how I feel. Okay. And I've made that perfectly known that I believe that this was botched. Okay. I believe this was botched badly. I said, be factual in the comment section, as well as kind or do not comment. This is about the case, not attacking people. Thanks in advance. Because of this post. Where is it? Did it go over? Okay. this post was not designed. If you read my post, and you could see that it's not edited. Okay, otherwise it would say edited. All right, I don't edit my shit. Anytime I've edited anything, I'm telling you it's because of a typo. Okay, and I believe there's probably a typo up in whatever I wrote, but I just assume leave it because that way people can't ever say that I truly not to try to edit anything. The Goncalves family page post, and see this 2 hours. So this was clipped 2 hours from the time that I posted here. It's going to be a long road ahead. My patience is running thin. I can't keep putting up with this. It is ... I don't know. On another note. So when I saw this, I said, I believe that they were told first. The families were told first that this was going to be moving. That they were going to do change of venue. So again, my source is the Goncalves family. That's my secondary source. I'll just say that. My secondary source. I don't think that they would have posted this if the change of venue was granted. Call me crazy, but I can connect some dots here. But what I just don't understand, and then another note, if this Georgia shooter hadn't learned and BK receiving fan mail about, is that learned any BK receiving fan mail, fresh haircuts, vegan meals, and custom tailored business suits, not to mention the fan club of girls declaring their love. First of all, who's declaring their love for Bryan Kohberger? Okay. I personally don't believe that Steve wrote this. I personally believe that there was talk to text, by the way. AI, whatever. But I was like, wait, what's going on here? I didn't understand this. So I'm going to break it down what I believe. I don't know who the Goncalves are getting their information from. I truly don't, but to bring up the Georgia shooter, and the Georgia shooter, I was like learning what BK for receiving fan mail, fresh haircuts, vegan meals, and custom tailored business suits. First of all, Bryan Kohberger may be guilty, okay, of these crimes. But right now, Bryan is considered innocent until proven guilty. Unfortunately, or you could say fortunately, however you want to look at it, that's just the way it goes. And because we have rights, right? But it's important that is where it's at. But like I said, I will always feel for Steve. I will always feel for Christy. Always. And they're always going to get the grace from me in terms of however they want to do whatever. Like, you got it. Like, I have no idea what I would be doing, They lost their daughter. Well, 2 daughters, But I don't... If this Georgia shooter hadn't learned that BK receives fan mail, he gets fresh haircuts, vegan meals, and custom tailored business suits, not to mention the fan club of girls declaring their love, he might never have committed this crime. Yet BK's privileges continue to grow. Okay, that was my giveaway right there. Yet BK's privileges continue to grow. His privilege of a change venue. Okay. Now, I then did some digging. I'll read the rest of it. Our world is full of young, angry individuals who feel ignored. Wake up, judge. How about wake up, parents? Because if young people feel ignored, I think the person or persons we need to wake up is the parents. If kids are feeling ignored, I think teachers should be saying that in like progress reports that are coming home. I think a kid usually acts out because they want attention, and usually you want attention because you're not getting attention elsewhere. Just like girls and boys do when they're dating somebody, they're not getting the attention from the person they're dating. What do? They act out. But our world is full of young, angry individuals who feel ignored. And that, I believe, is stemmed from when the babies were having babies. Wake up, judge. Your decisions carry real consequences across our society. Again, right there. Wake up, judge. your decisions. I mean, if this is not telling us that this is being moved, I don't know what is, but this is where this came from. But I said, wow, I just cannot believe that we're talking about the Georgia shooter and that we're basically putting the blame on Bryan Kohberger and this Georgia shooter allegedly seeing that Bryan Kohberger receives fan mail, fresh haircuts, vegan meals, and custom tailored business suits. And remember last week I played for you guys the video and I said, I cannot believe the Goncalves are going out there and interviewing people. And they're saying that Bryan Kohberger can get a fair trial in Moscow or in Latah County because we've done our interviews. I told you guys, if that wasn't, I said that alone right there should move it. That just can't be happening. I don't know why the Goncalves would be interviewing anybody. So, but yeah, Judge, your decisions carry real consequences across our society. Pray for justice. And then it's just pictures of those two, not the other 2 kids that were killed. I don't know. I just couldn't believe that. Call me crazy, but I don't know. Okay. So first of all, again, they got their information from whatever source they want to get their information from, but from my research, people were putting out information saying that there's social media accounts that were associated with the Georgia shooter that weren't with the Georgia shooter. Okay. So I don't know why anybody would be putting out TikTok accounts or any type of social media account that is not the Georgia shooters and saying that there was edits, clips, and that this person was all obsessed with Bryan Kohberger or something like that. I don't know. I don't understand that. I don't understand. I don't understand. But this is why I believe that the trial is being moved. Wake up, judge. Your decisions carry real consequences across our society. They're not happy with the judge's decision. And I believe the judge decided to bow out, move it. And I don't understand why the frustration isn't on the police department, the prosecutor, the chief, all the people that made it so that you couldn't have the trial in Moscow or in Latah County. Okay. Because the judge wasn't involved in the case for the 7 weeks that they were looking on a manhunt. Okay. The judge saw the evidence. The judge had a hearing and the prosecutors came with nothing. The prosecutors didn't even attempt to go out there and get any type of a witness, an expert to combat anything. Nothing. So how does the judge hear everything that he heard and then look at case law and see that this happens all the time in high profile cases? And this is not, and they use surveys. And then you had somebody come in and check the survey to see how well it was. Yep, no, it meets all these criteria. This is what, I mean, this is, so then you have somebody backing that. And I see a huge, where we're placing the blame isn't where the blame should be placed. And so I feel like they've been, if you listen to that interview, they said that the only reason that they had Bryan Kohberger in suits and ties is so that they could keep the trial. That's what they were told, is so that we can keep the trial here in Latah County. Well, who the fuck told them that? Bryan Kohberger has a right to be in those clothes. Okay. Who's telling them that? And when you hear that that's the only reason that they're doing it is for that purpose, it's to make up for everything that they did before. I mean, they were doing interviews. They never said that this guy is innocent, so proven guilty. This is who we arrested. No, I'm 100% confident this is our guy. Do you guys not recall those interviews? That's why we couldn't watch 15 to 30 minutes of that hearing, because it was blasting what happened after the arrest of Bryan Kohberger, and at the hands of the prosecutor and at the hands of the chief. The Today Show sat down with Chief Fry, and they straight up looked him in the face, eyes, and said, and he's like, "No, I'm 100% confident this is our no questions asked." And he's saying that off of what at that time? Think about that when that interview was. What Chief Fry? I mean, that's just dangerous. Chief Fry wasn't even involved in it. You know how I know that Chief Fry wasn't involved in it? When the prosecution is saying, we're not even going to call Chief Fry to the stand. He's not a witness for us because he didn't do anything, right? Wow. Victim's family has rights too. Who's preventing them from being in the who's preventing them from being in the courtroom? Who's preventing any of the victims' family from being in the courtroom? The law is that Bryan Kohberger's rights trump that. That's the law. The right to a fair and impartial trial. That trumps, that's going to come before. If you need to be at the trial, I know the trial for my kid could be in Alaska and I'm going to be there every day. But I also know this is every hearing, you guys, they'll be giving Zoom. Here, watch it on Zoom. Here, watch it on Zoom. Watch it on Zoom. Name me a family member that has shown up to a live hearing. Honestly, besides the Goncalveses, who they haven't been there on everyone. They've been coming on Zoom. But name me a family that has shown up in person. Besides the Goncalveses, like I said, that have not come to all of them. But I wouldn't want to do this twice. I'd want to do it once. But I think it moving out of Moscow puts a huge, that's going to shift things. Because I personally believe that there is no way in hell that Bryan Kohberger could possibly, even if the evidence proved it in the courtroom, there is no way in hell that Latell County that jury, it'd be a hung jury. That's the best you're going to get. There is no way in hell that he's getting a not guilty verdict. You know why I feel this confident? Because of the Karen Reed case. The Karen Reed case, when I just read today what these jurors said in this deliberating room, something has to change with our justice system after what I read. And it's not just with that juror. There was 2 jurors that were interviewed. And what these jurors said should cause pause for all of Americans to say, okay, wait a second. If we're doing voting now by internet, mail-in ballots, whatever, we need to think about how we're going to change our process for jurors, because jurors not being able to have transcripts and them having to guess at what was said. Think about this. My life should be on the line for 12 jurors to sometimes not even have a notebook, sometimes not even be able to take their notebook back to the deliberating room, not be able to have transcripts, have to try to remember and guess. That's not even real life. Okay, that's not even real life with your job. That you can't look at whatever it would be in your job to make sure that you're doing your job right. So this has to change. Jurors should be able to have transcripts, okay, or at least audio. If you're saying we can't have that done like that, we can't get that done like that. Like, we can't get that done like that. Okay, well, then they can be able to hear the audio transcript of it, because there is no way in hell that a person should be considered guilty or not guilty because of people arguing or discussing in a room. Well, no, this is what I heard. Well, this is what I heard. Well, this is what I heard. Well, this is what I heard. Okay, well, let's run the tape back. And you have to ask for that person's testimony. And you should have a timestamp of when that person. That's why if you're taking good notes, like, hey, at this, like, look at a clock, and that's when you're going to write, hey, well, this is when this person was on the stand on this day. The clock read 12:02, like 12:02. Like, I'm writing that down. But if you guys would have heard, I'm not going to sit here and read it. Go listen to that last live I did. It was unbelievable. And that's just not how it should be. A foreman telling people that we're not going to ask a judge a question. We're going to vote on if we can ask that question. The question was, well, can we ask the judge if we can acquit on counts 1 and 3? They had a vote because the foreman was like, no. Wait, no, what do you mean no? No, because it doesn't work like that. We either have to have a unanimous on all 3 or nothing. So the foreman got it wrong. Yeah, they did. But the foreman was adamant saying no, 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 no. Then they had a vote on it. And the vote came back 10-2 to not ask the question to the judge if we can give a verdict on count 1, a verdict on count 3, and we're hung on 2. Like, should we be filling anything out? How are you in a what school where'd you go to grade school? That's what the judge is supposed to do. The judge says, if you have any questions, you write me the question and you send it, and then I give it back. We let you know. And these people in the deliberating room said, they actually had a vote on if we could ask if we were allowed to do that. And 10 people voted, no, we're not even going to ask. And then I'm over here saying, wait a second. It's like they think that they're playing a game or something, and you get more points at the end if you're able to not ask the judge any questions and being able to like give like your verdict or something, that you get more points or something. You don't get fired. You're not a juror if you ask that question. So how are they sitting in a deliberating room saying to each other, we're not going to ask that question? Look, let's take a vote. Raise your hand if you think that we should ask the judge that question. And people rose their hands and said, no, we shouldn't. Why not? You are in a room deciding somebody's life. Their life is in your hands, and you're not going to. Well, why wouldn't we just ask? How is it intimidating to ask the judge a question? That's what the judge said that you can do. If you have any questions, foreman, you write the question and you hand it to us. I don't even know. I don't even know. That is just unfucking believable to me. I would have been in fist fights in that room. I would have been like, excuse me? Just because you're an ex-cop? You think you're smarter than me? Or you think you know more than me? Or you think you paid attention better than me? Just because she labeled you, oh, you're the foreman? Take your foreman and go like this. I don't give a shit what you are. I don't care if you're an engineer. I don't care how are we going into a room and us looking at each other like, oh, what do you do for a living? Okay, well then whatever for you. What do you mean, what do I do for a living? How does that have... How are you going into a deliberating room and literally trying to tell people that you know more? Because I just have one question for y'all. When's the last time you were on a murder case as a juror? So what does it mean what I do or you do for a living? When's the last time you were foreman? And all the answers to those is, well, I never was, and this is my first murder. So then just sit down and shut the fuck up. All right? And we're going to talk about this. This is somebody's life. It's in our hands. And you got people that said, well, I'm walking in here, she's guilty, and I'm not debating, and I'm not talking about it. Who the fuck do you think you are? How did you even get past voir dire? I just need to know that. Because I would immediately be like, I think that this needs to be reported to the judge. Because that never was reported to the judge. That people were saying that they're not going to deliberate because they know that she's guilty, and it was a guilty when you come in there. You guys, if you don't have a strong personality, then maybe that needs to just be what something is said. Like I can be a juror because I would be, oh my God, okay, that's fine. I'm not going to sit here and argue with you. That's fine. She's guilty. Oh my God, I can go home. Wait, what? Like the number one question you would hopefully be asking people if are you a leader? If somebody tried to talk you out of how you felt, would you just be like, okay, that sounds great? I was just blown away. So anybody who would be arrested for this murder in Idaho and it being tried in Latah County, you would never have a chance. It doesn't matter if it's Bryan Kohberger. It doesn't matter if it's a female. It is whoever would be arrested for this quad homicide. You are not walking out of Latah County an innocent person. You understand that? And if anybody thinks otherwise, that's perfectly fine. But then you put your life over there and you do that. Okay. You would never want, if you were in Bryan's shoes, to have that trial in Latah County. Put yourself in those shoes. And if you think that you can get a fair trial, I asked myself, why aren't they already trying to move the Karen Reed case? Karen Reed case should be moved. Okay. Canton was, conflicted out, right? Canton's where? In Norfolk County. This happened in Norfolk County. All right. Then you have all these cops that are all friends with each other, right? Get the fuck up out of there. Like, wild shit. So, let's see. Ann Taylor. Well, nobody wants to talk about this. Bill Thompson. Did he meet his deadline? Bill Thompson had a bunch of deadlines. Bill Thompson had to get that discovery on over. That discovery where Ann Taylor's like, oh, we only have a portion of this video. I believe that guy, Cyray, he testified. I think we have 18%, 8% of the data. We're missing 90, 80% of this data. Where is it? Wild shit, man. And I just keep saying, you guys, if Bryan Kohberger is so guilty, if anybody is so guilty, you have the evidence, you present it, and it's going to shine. It's going to shine. They're guilty. Okay. All right. But all this shit, not turning over discovery, not using best practice. How do you not possibly have these tips in, just everything to do about it? You have all these people work in this case and come to find out that they were, Idaho State Police was there to God knows do what. But I will prove it to you guys again that Leslie Lehman was on that case and that we were told to send stuff to Leslie Lehman. She was in the Brian Drake case, Dr. Moore case. And that's the girl that was at Super One and didn't go inside and get the videos from Super One. Yet every freaking witness went to Super One that day. But yet she went to Super One. So what the fuck are you doing there? And she went there on the 13th. The murder's on the 12th. So why is Leslie Lehman and her partner, Rich Alderson, who he's a pastor, by the way, and you got Leslie Lehman, that's her first murder ever. She became a detective in 2018. Her first murder ever, 2020. And she's getting lied to, and she knows she's getting lied to by a 19-year-old and a 17-year-old, and the surveillance cameras are proving that. And here she's hiding it, but then takes her happy ass to Super One to interview a potential, in the Brian Drake case, a potential mistress of Brian Drake. You're going to interview somebody in public at the Super One versus bring the mistress maybe into a station. Let's just meet at Super One. Why are we meeting at Super One? Lana, how'd you find that out? Well, because it's in the police reports where they met. And I said, oh God, okay, here, they're at Super One. It's March 13th. Why would they meet with this broad there? Who's this broad, by the way, is Leslie Lehman, who was 100% involved in the Bryan Kohberger case, because we were all told it. I will send, and I'll put it out there again. We were told, hey, if you have any information, send it to Leslie Lehman. And I about died. I said, whoa, Leslie Lehman getting freaky over here. Let's find that piece again. It's a hit piece. God, I got so many photos on my phone. Okay, here we go. Oh, no. That's not it. Oh. I think someone's in here that has it. If it's... Did I share it in the last one? I shared it somewhere. Oh, you know who I shared it with? I know who you are. See y'all. Where is this? It might have been my email. Yes. Yeah, send it on back if you have it. Just resend that email. Oh, I thought you just got here and woke up. Sorry. No, I sent you something too. I want you to share with me. So going back to this whole thing is, yes, I believe that the families were told. That's how it got leaked. As far as the change of venue, I know that JLR was given a nice little birdie, and the Goncalves basically put it out right here. Wake up, judge. Your decisions carry real consequences across our society. So wake up, judge. And now, of course, they're probably going to come out and say, no, that's just us trying to, like, you know, hope and pray that they haven't made up their mind yet. No, that's not it. Judge not changing. I'll bet you a steak dinner the judge changes. You know what? I would not be surprised if Bill Thompson bows the fuck out. You want to know why? Because what was Bill Thompson? What was their argument? How can they possibly run the town of Latah County with all of these people not being able to be in Latah County and they have to be up in Ada? Okay. Cases get assigned special prosecutors all the time. Besides, Bill Thompson, backseat Bill, hasn't done and said a damn thing since he got frisky up on the stand against Dr. Edelman. He got straight up nasty with Dr. Edelman. It looked like flying out like a wild banshee. You knew that not to be true, and you put that question out there. No, you knew that not to be true, and you guys were signing search warrants, motherfucker. You knew that not to be true. And that was a question. You are tainting our jury pool. Excuse me? Bill Thompson's over here objecting to the PowerPoint. Why? Because Bill Thompson's about to come up out. Like, oh my God, Bill Thompson, this is why you didn't want it to be play. Because it was you, Bill. Spread this far and wide. I've never heard such a thing. So, thank you there. Got it. Okay, I want to share this. Boop, boop. Spread this far and wide, Bill. And if you don't, over there acting like Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. Okay. Yeah. Let's go take a look-see. Here you guys go. Hi, Boston. What's up, girl? What's up, baby? Check it out, guys. It's right here in the flash. Anyone near these areas who observes suspicious behavior, has video surveillance, or can provide relevant information is asked to call the tip line. Right there. Or you can. Idaho State Police is also requesting any downtown businesses with exterior video footage to share it with ISP. Downtown video footage from 9 p.m. Saturday to 6 a.m. Sunday can be sent to Leslie, who? Motherfucking Lehman, with the Idaho State Police. And I tried to give this as a tip to the damn defense team. Okay? And because nothing needs to go to Leslie Lehman. Absolutely nothing. Because I have proof, 100% proof, that first of all, she's incompetent as fuck. But I believe that there is enough proof to show that she buried by not going and getting cameras, number one. And then number two, tried to say that the mobile gas station cameras did not exist on March 17th when she was writing up her report, only to then realize, oops, they already turned him in. Oh, you can go see Brittany and this other guy for girl. So right here, Leslie Lehman, you type that name in. You want to know the last murder case that broad worked on? Brian Drake murder case, Dr. Moore murder case. You understand? You know whose training records Ann Taylor wants? Gary Tolson. You want to know why? Because Gary Tolson worked Bryan Kohberger case. Guess what last murder case Gary Tolson worked? That's right, Brian Drake. And after that, the Idaho State police officer that killed his wife and staged it as a suicide. Yeah. Gary Tolson took the stand in that case too. Just this past summer. Howard freak show. Yeah. Gary Tolson. Gary motherfucking Tolson. This is this Idaho State District 1 crew. District 1's out of Coeur d'Alene. It's crazy. This is absolute sickening. But yeah, go ahead right there. So Leslie Lehman got the what? The downtown videos, right? This is who you were supposed to send them to. It's to her. Wait, what video is Ann Taylor looking for? She wants a video from downtown. She wants that video that's a business video from the construction people. She asked Payne, where can I go and get this video? Well, you're going to have to talk to the evidence coordinator. The evidence coordinator. Okay. Okay. I would just ask for every report that Leslie Lehman was involved in this case. With the IDAHO4 case. I'm just so curious to see what she was involved in. Because like I said, you guys can sit here and say, well, guys, how about this? It's really not corruption. These people are just bad at their jobs, which that's fine. I'll give you that. Okay. If that's what you want to say, instead of saying the word corrupt or conspiracy or whatever, then I'm fine with saying these people do not need to be in doing their jobs that they're doing. Put them in a car to sit and write tickets to people that are speeding. Go patrol. Go patrol or go do something else. But detective? Huh? Fuck out of here. You have a 19-year-old kid lying to you. You catch him in a lie and she buries it. She never re-interviewed the kid, even though she caught him in a lie. Even though she knew that he was in a different vehicle than the one he claimed to be in. Like, oh man, it's just so, this shit's just sick. Sorry, but it really, TNT, didn't Ann Taylor just drop a new document? She dropped like 15. It's all about the death penalty. Did the state turn over all their evidence? No, I think this is going to be another case like Delphi. 9 months from now, there's going to be some discovery. No. I know that Jay's been busy. When is the next Idaho hearing? There's just a bunch of deadlines set right now. The next hearings are going to be like the suppression hearings. There's going to be a couple Franks. I know that that's what guaranteed. That's what Massis is working on. We know that's coming. Right there, Miss Potts? Right there, right? Huh? I got another thing I want to show you here on the Bryan Kohberger front. And then yes, the deadline was Friday for the state. That's why I just thought it was kind of funny that on the eve of the deadline, Jay and defense team literally drop all those documents just to say, oh, hey, by the way, we're also striking the death penalty. And this is why. But hold on, let me share something here. I want to share video actually. So I was thinking the other day about something that I think needs to be addressed at some point. I'm sure it will. Okay, we're going to play a little game. All right. Here's the game. The game is, what year is this vehicle? Just want, like, what we're going to be, okay, right here. Okay. So, for example, let's just go with this one, right? Because you guys don't know yet, so. Okay, right there. What year? Okay. What vehicle is this? I want the make, model, and the year. What would you say? Make, model, year. Whoopsies. Get back here. Okay. Here you go. What do you got? What's up, everybody? We're playing a game here. Like, this is the type of footage that you would see. This is 2020 type of camera. This is zoomed in from a bank surveillance camera. All right. We'll get it going a little bit. I'll play it so you guys can see it like traveling a little bit. Okay. What's the car that just went past? So you guys are all talking about maybe like a Honda. Okay. Honda Pilot. Right there. What's that car? What's that car? That looks like a Honda Accord. Honda. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about that rig right there? Really? Ooh, let's go. Okay. How would you guys describe that guy right there? Would you guys say he was wearing black pants, black top, a beanie, in a silver vest? Is that what you guys would call? How would you guys describe him? Dark hair,
Sergeant.
dark skin, right? How about this? I'm just curious. So if you said that the last patient that somebody saw, Dr. Drake saw, they didn't know that's what the person was wearing, right there. What kind of vehicle is that? See how the dot's gone? The little light dot's gone. That's a car back there that's gonna pull up with its headlights on. It just sits there. Look at that. Just shows up. Because that's a car right there. And it stopped. It just was creeping up. Because I have the other angle. So I caught that car. And it's gonna sit there and it's gonna wait. And it's gonna wait. And it's gonna wait. And it waits till Eldora's motherfucking Honda Pilot goes by. Right there. Check this out. There it goes, Honda Pilot. And you're going to have this car come across the back way of Drake's Alley, pass and go into the church parking lot. Now watch. Boom. Now that car gets the fuck up out of there. These people are sick. These people are so sick. How can law enforcement not catch this? How could law enforcement not catch this shit? And I said, whose car is that? Whose fucking car is that? Crazy, right? Unbelievable. Anyways, that Pilot is a 2006 Pilot, by the way. 2006 is the Pilot. (2006)
Sort of leading this thing, but initially when this first happened.
Okay, do you guys see what would you guys consider the shed to be? I just want to show you guys something right there. You know how do you think that shed's wood?
Sort of leading this thing?
Like little wood pieces.
But
like if you were to be thrown up against that, for example, what would be on the back of your shirt? You know? When somebody threw you in like the leaves over here, what would be on the back of your shirt?
Initially when this first happened.
You guys see that? This disheveled, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Oh, one too far. Here we go.
The FBI Violent Crimes Task Force. We all have a hand in this.
Okay, so normally it's just it's flat. Normally it's just perfectly flat. All right, like it's just like the other ones, right? Now I'm going to show you a picture. And I want you guys to tell me if you think this is consistent. Because I love the viewers here because they're just smart. Thank God, some smart motherfuckers. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs down. Make yourself known. Right where you're from in the chat. I got a picture for you guys. I got two pictures for you. Because I told you this is going to be like IDAHO4 closing it out with Bryan Drake. And you guys are going to be really happy when I read verbatim what I found. But first, I want to show you. Okay. This. So you guys see that wood, right? Last chance to see it. Oops.
Sort of leading this.
See?
thing,
See?
but
See? All right, good. Now, we're going to remove this, and I'm going to welcome to the stage okay. Boom. Soil, vegetation. This is, hold on. Hold on a second.
initially when this first
% of the time.
Okay.
um,
And I can
The grader, it's
Lowell
Graber.
Graber.
where's that?
On 1545.
Yes, it's Graber.
Okay, who's this? Paul Jacobson?
Paul Jacobson?
Yeah.
You see that right there?
I noticed he was here and here.
Looks pretty well groomed to
Who's
me,
that?
you know?
I don't know.
That shirt
He
looks,
doesn't ring a
that,
bell.
No.
Long
He has a
sleeve
lot
sweater.
of patients that I don't know.
you see how he has the little, how he has to walk around.
Has your
with
husband
this
ever
fucking
talked about
thing?
Paul Jacobson?
This is just right before he's shot. This broad, his last patient, Eldora, is taping this.
Rachel Cohen.
And he's playing the ukulele, her brother from Hawaii. She just got back from Mexico. And
Yeah. And we don't have a paper on Paul Jacobson, and we need to talk to him. So that's another reason why we need to.
Oh, yeah,
get
that's
these.
a good point then.
So since we're talking about names and we're spelling names up here,
Yeah.
I'm going to ask on the prices here.
Yes.
We have listed and we have noted here in some of his notes that $50, $50, $250, $100.
So he charges $50 an adjustment, and then many times people will pay him for 5 adjustments.
so if you were to see this from the back, you would say somebody was wearing a silverish vest, a black beanie, black pants, black, I don't know if it's a hoodie, and then dark skin. That's exactly what Isaac Funderburg said. He said that the guy there looked like the guy from the Liberty gas station. And then he identified his clothing as black pants, black, he was all black with a silver gray vest. He definitely had a beanie on, and he had dark skin.
So they'll go
You guys know what Dr. Moore looks like? He's 63, white as fuck.
ahead and say, here's
so
5
they'll
adjustments,
say,
I'll
yes,
see you
and
next
he'll
week.
put it on his records, and then that they don't have to pay every time.
How does
you know
he?
what I mean? They
How
just
does,
come in.
how does he keep track of that in here?
He has it on. It's not in here. He always keeps track of who owes him.
Is it in the black book?
So then you guys saw that. Now, this is everything that's wild. Ready? What time do you think her vehicle's leaving there? It's at 6:17 in like 30 seconds right there. And so if Eldora Gatchel and her brother are already gone from the scene at 7:17 p.m., that would mean that the eyewitness would have had to have seen that person before 7:17, before they got into that vehicle, right? Because they're already gone, right? Understand logic here? Like, you cannot see these people in that vehicle after a certain point when they would have been in the car and right here, because this is like right after they would have pulled out of Drake's. Okay. So you have had to see this person before 7:17. I think they get in the car like 7:17, right? Just logic, right? It's so simple, just fucking logic. Like, you cannot see these people after 7:17 because they're already gone. Right? So that would mean that the person that saw, to be able to see that person and give a description like that, you would have had to see them before 7:17. And the reason that you said that you saw that is because that's the description that you gave of the person that you saw running from the building that you got in your car and tried to chase after, who's Isaac Funderburg, who's the 19-year-old that tells this to Leslie Lehman, that tells this to Marty Ryan, that tells this to the police, right? But you want to know what the police couldn't do? They said, that can't be possible because Jennifer Drake says that she was on the phone with her husband until 7:26, and that's what time she got off the phone. Wait, excuse me? Because Jennifer Drake said that she was on the phone with her husband? How do you know who was on that phone call? That's the wildest shit I've ever heard. Okay, then that's fine. When she called 911? Well, see, that's another problem. It's not in Jennifer Drake's phone records that she ever called 911 from her cell phone at her home residence in Hayden. What? And the police knew this? Oh, yeah, the police knew this day one. What else? It wasn't in her phone records. It wasn't in the Cellbrite report. Wait, so you're telling me that Jennifer Drake says that she has one cell phone? Here it is. And these detectives, Gary Tolson and Mike Van Leuven, they knew. Yeah, they knew that it didn't make a phone call. Like, it didn't come up in Cellbrite. It wasn't showing in her call records. It didn't show in her nothing. Wait, okay. Well, I'm sure then you guys just went to Kootenai County Dispatch and just got the records. Yeah, about that. They're not there either. Wait, I'm so sorry. Get this straight. This woman says that she's on the phone with her husband when he shot at 7:26, because that's the time that she ends a phone call from 7:17 until 7:26. Yeah, she says that her husband says, "Oh my God, ouch, ouch. I think I just got hit. I think I was just shot through the window." And then the call just goes black. And then so she says that she hangs up the call and that she immediately then dials 911. But since she's in Hayden, not in Bounders Ferry, when she called 911 from her house, it went to the Hayden dispatch, which is Kootenai County Dispatch. And then they had to then patch her through to get her to this area. Okay, so then, all right, yeah, let's go to Kootenai County. Well, what do I do? What do I have other people do that are involved in this case? I said, go get a FOIA request. Fuck this. Because it's not in any of the discovery. Like, there is no chain of custody on any of the 911 calls. There's no chain of custody, motherfucking period. And then they have a hard time entering a 911 call into evidence at a preliminary hearing. And I'm like, I've never heard of such a thing. Why wouldn't the dispatch be called to the stand and enter in the 911 call? Like, what's going on here? No, yeah, that didn't happen. A 911 call was never entered in at the preliminary hearing. Yeah. Okay, so what is the Kootenai County Dispatch? What do they have? Well, the FOIA request came back, and I got all 48 911 calls taken that day. Happened on March 12th, 2020. And out of all 48 phone calls, none of them are Jennifer Drake. None of them are Jennifer Drake's cell phone number. And none of them are a transfer to Bonner County and then to Boundary County. In fact, I gave them such a fucking hard time that they physically told me, listen, the records you're asking do not exist. There is no 911 call. There was not a 911 call earlier, later, not the whole day. This number, this person never called 911 that day. There is no record of this ever existing. I said, excuse me? I said, how the fuck is this possible? How the fuck is this possible? And the cops knew this. Then Gary Tolson attended Bryan Kohberger's, the victims, the autopsy, from my understanding. Okay? Gary Tolson did. And Ann Taylor was like, where are y'all notes? Did you guys take any pictures? What'd y'all do there? Why were you there? This is the IDAHO4. Well, I was like, yeah, let's talk about the autopsy. Let's talk about the photos that are taken. Who's taking these photos? Because I've never seen ever in my life that where are any of the photos of victims' hands? Wouldn't that be something that you'd really want to get a photo of, like nail clippings, hands, like to see what like is underneath their fingernails or something, to see if their hands are bloody at all? Okay. How could Brian Drake literally get shot in the back, right up here? Okay. In the back. And wouldn't your hands be trying to like grab around in the back? Like your hand's going to be like touching, you know, or maybe going underneath your, like your shirt to like go feel your wound and try to put pressure on your wound. I mean, you're going to try to feel this wound with like one of your hands. I mean, don't you think that be like anytime like you get stung by a bee, what do? You hit your leg, your hands go like, and they're touching whatever it is. It just got like hit. Ow, what? Like, right? Brian Drake's hands are no blood, but underneath his fingernails, there's dirt under all of his fingernails. Dirt. What chiropractor has dirt underneath their fingernails and they're working on your body? No. But who doesn't take pictures of the hands? These idiots, the pictures that they took are unfucking believable. Unbelievable. Thank God that the ME had enough wherewithal to be to be writing stuff, okay? Because unless they are somewhere in outer space or in with I don't know how autopsy photos would ever get separated, if they're in a different folder, there are no pictures of Brian Drake's hands. Wow. And these are the same people that then were involved. Like I said, Gary Tolson, I have it as Ann Taylor writing up that report or for the discovery, and she's saying that those people were in that in the IDAHO4 autopsy. Like they were there, they were present, but nobody took video, nobody took pictures, and nobody took notes. So then what was Vargas, Gunderson, and Tolson doing during the autopsy? Why were they there? Just to stand there? Just to stand there. Who's the person taking the pictures? Because Idaho State Police, from my understanding, they're the ones that take the photos. Now, that's what they did in the Drake case. I want to show you guys, go back to this. And I believe, well, I know for a fact because of the woman, but these little pieces, some of them, okay, it's going to be leaves. They said leaves, vegetation, soil. But I believe that if this was to get pulled back out again, I believe that at least something on this back of the sweater is going to have like a shard like wood that would then match. Okay. Now, mind you, his office is just clean as hell. Like none of this is on the floor in his office. But I'm willing to bet that if looked at least you have to rule it out, right? But why in the world would see this back area? See all this stuff around here? I want to show you this picnic table. All right. Why in the world?
She had 3 interviews. So That may very well have occurred that night, but I don't know.
You have to understand there's the
5 different divisions.
there's the Bonners Ferry
Right
Police
there. You see that
Department,
picnic table?
the Boundary County Sheriff's Department, us, the FBI Violent Crimes Task Force.
See that right there?
We all have a hand in
And boom.
this.
Okay. It's never like that. That's never like that. You know what these idiots did the next day when they actually got out here? So wouldn't you want to take pictures of the, I mean, it kind of looks like it's out of, it's definitely like it's off the hinges. Okay. Could there be anything that was maybe ever in there, stored in there, and they're transporting something and then something goes wrong back there? Okay. Like it's like an ambush type thing. That looks like it can hold a lock. Okay. Did anybody ever question anybody about were those ever locked? They're unlocked, where the lock could possibly be. But right there, you got leaves, you got soil, vegetation, and you got it looks, the word I want to say is disheveled, just like his shirt. And you know what? They never took into evidence his little knee walker thingy. How do you leave that brace? How do you take that brace off of that man and leave the brace in that office? I want to see the bottom of the brace that he's walking on, that little crutch thingy. I want to see what's on the bottom of that. I want to see what's on the damn thing, period. They didn't take the stool. They didn't take the, they didn't take the glass. They didn't take the stool. They didn't take his knee brace. He had a sock stuffed in his boxer briefs. They took a picture of it, and then poof, that sock disappeared. It was never wrote down in any report, but there's a picture of it. So it helps to show that that existed. And now it's just gone. That would have DNA. It could possibly have DNA on it. Like all this shit could have DNA. None of the stuff was ever DNA tested. There was blonde hairs that were on his pop-up chiropractic table. That wasn't taken into evidence. The hair wasn't taken into evidence. The table that he works on, customers, wasn't taken. Brian Drake was a chiropractor. He was not a masseuse. There were girls in that area that were going to him just for massages. What? Yep, you heard that right. Man, how do you know that? Well, because these broads texted him when he would get injured and wouldn't be able to provide services because he had surgery. Oh, where am I going to go? Who's going to massage me now? Where can I go to get my massages? And I've never said to a chiropractor, I've always said, like, well, who can I go and get? Is there another chiropractor that you could recommend until you're back healthy? No, this was straight up, where can I go to get massages? It's in writing. Now, Brian Drake was shot. I would think so. Here, as a police officer, as a detective, if somebody says they called 911 and then there's just no record of calling 911, would that be a problem? Wouldn't it be something that you just have to, like, all right, there has to be a solution here. Let's get to the bottom of the solution. What's going on here? How come this phone call didn't register? Didn't register on anything? Could it at all be possible that maybe she just didn't call from her cell phone and she used a different phone? Which then that's a problem, because the cell phone is what you guys are using to locate where she was during the time of the crime. Because don't you think that would be, like, why wouldn't you do a cast? If you have cast involved, and they used cast, why wouldn't cast be involved with this case for her records, for her phone call? Why wouldn't they have done cast to see where she was when she made that phone call? Well, there is no phone call, so how do we cast that? How do we use cast? I don't know. They used cast on Dr. Moore's 2 phone calls that he made at 7:45 and at 7:48. Okay. So these are the same people that investigated, okay, the Idaho 4 case. These are the same practices. These are the same people that are being trained. And you want me to believe that, when it came to in 2 years, 2022, after this 2020 murder, within 2 years, these people are just so much better? Fuck out of here. No. These people suck. Because there's no answers to this. There's no reports. In fact, it's all just, it doesn't matter. It's like this. Brian Drake was shot, guys. All right, we pulled the bullet out. We got this bullet. Awesome. They turn the bullet over to the lab. And the lab comes back, and one of the labs says it's 1 of 3 guns. And the other lab comes back, so Idaho State Police's lab, and then they use the Washington State lab. And they said it's 1 of 2 guns, which is the 357 and a 38 revolver, and the other one's a 9mm. Those are the 3. Do you guys know that they never asked Jennifer Drake if they could test any of her guns? Excuse me? I don't even know if they asked her if she owns any guns. But they do ask her about pictures of guns. And I'm like, where did they get these pictures from? Why are they showing this woman these pictures and saying, hey, have you ever seen these before? And here's Jen. No, I've never seen these in my life. No, I have no idea what that is. That's not at our house. I don't even know what that white table is. She's talking about like what the gun's sitting on. I don't even know. I've never seen that before. Is this yours? Is this yours? Is yours? No, never saw it before. No. Well, I said, I'm going to find why the hell they were showing her these pictures. Because where did these come from? Where did these guns come from, right? I'm going to show you a couple of them. You are, Lana? I am. Because I'm bringing it. Like I told you guys I would. Sundays is when I bring it. Because I'm just getting fed up. I'm fed up with the bullshit. I'm fed up with the lies. Okay? Jennifer Drake is shown this gun right here. Let me just... Oops. No, these are not the ones that were randomly found. No. She was shown 3 guns. And, okay. Here we go. This is one of them. All right, can you guys see that? The initial, they say, we showed this to Jennifer Drake. And Jennifer Drake said, I have no idea whose gun that is. I've never saw that gun. Wait, what's that background behind it? Okay. Well, I said, God, what was the date that they asked for this shit? 3/24. So it would have been after they went through her phone. Because they asked her, hey, would you turn over your phone? Can we download it? And she signs a consent. And they, here you go. And they're downloading everything, right? I'm not a gun person. What kind of gun's that? What kind of gun's that? I don't know. What's this little thing over here? What kind of bullets can go in there? 38? Can 38s go in there? 357? That's what I think it is. What is it? She's got 3 of them over here, so let's see a couple other ones. Let me go to my stash. Stash of picks over here. Let's see what else I got. This fun bag of tricks. Remember I told you guys? It's a revolver, right? Zoom in on top. Okay, let me just zoom. I'll take myself. Like, isn't it say Magnum over there? Oh, yeah. .357 Magnum, is that what that says? Definitely a .357 Magnum, right? That's what I think it is, right? Well, guess what? That's one of the lovely, ready? I told you guys there was 3 guns that they said from the bullet. 3 guns. Let's see. Got it. Got the report. All right, let me see. Ready? Conclusions. Laboratory evidence item is consistent with the bullet having 6 lands and grooves and a right-hand twist. The bullet diameter is commonly loaded into a .357, 38 caliber, or 9mm cartridge. That's what Idaho State Police said. Washington State said. The fired bullet item was examined and determined to be consistent in weight and design with a 38 caliber class to include a 38 special and a .357 Magnum. Okay? So they show this gun, a couple of them, to Jennifer Drake and ask her, has she ever seen these before? Do you know whose guns these, have you ever seen this? Do you know what this is? No, I do not. You've never seen this before. Bitch, you lying. Because I found it. Lies. Tell me lies. And it was, ready? Okay. In a 3-way text message, these pictures came out of 3 pictures that were in picture texts. 3-way text messages with these. There's 3 different guns. And this is the dialect. My Lady Smith, .357 / or shoots 38 special ammo for those who don't care for auto with slide. You ready? Hold on. You guys really, I'll even fucking show you the text messages. She is in a 3-way group chat. 3-way group chat. My Lady, for this one, My Lady Smith .357 or shoots 38 special ammo for those who don't carry or who don't care for auto with slide. Wow. You are armed and dangerous, mama. My SIG P238, easy slide, easiest I have. Beautiful gun. That thing is gorgeous. My Robog 9mm personal carry. Small, smooth, no safety, nothing to catch on clothing. Made in the United States by Carl Robog. A favorite of Spook's law enforcement for reserve weapon or personal carry. In fact, a spook recommended it to me at Dog Show in Fort Worth. Hard to get, so prepare for waiting list. I was lucky and put my order in before they were something, but I still had to wait. The fuck, Lana? How'd you find this shit? Because I dug. Because I'm a digger. Because I knew that they would not be showing this broad this shit for nothing. Do you guys know she was in a 3-way group text message? This is the dialect. 3-way. Jennifer Drake is one of the 3 people. Do you want to know who the other 2 people were? First of all, why don't you ask me what year this was, this little combo? Who do you think was in a 3-way group text message about this? I literally fell out of my motherfucking chair. I wish it was Tatiana. She can come sit and spin. Tatiana, what's up, girl? I know you watching, baby. How you doing, love? Looking fly. That's a good guess, the Popo. Ready? You guys, this is so fucking wild. The year. December 4th, 2015, between Jennifer Drake, Bryan Drake, and Bryan Drake's mama. Or sister, who is it? Kathy Drake. So, Bryan Drake, Jennifer Drake. Woo! What? And then the audacity of literally 2015. Literally, so now the question is Bryan Drake's family member, who I believe it's his mom, Kathy Drake, these were her guns, allegedly. And Jennifer Drake's like, oh my God, beautiful gun. That thing is gorgeous. Asking a bunch of questions. Now, I have a question. Did they go and get these guns and test them? Where are these guns today? Could they have ever been given to Jennifer Drake for protection? These cops knew that these guns existed, showed Jennifer Drake these guns, and she has no clue whose guns these are, never has seen them in her life, and yet she is in a 3-way text message between Bryan, herself, and her mother-in-law. And then here's the family of Bryan Drake wondering, oh my God, my son was shot with a 38 caliber. Oh my God, those are all the guns that I was showing Jennifer. Oh my God, I gave Jennifer those guns. We have no idea where those guns are. No fucking clue where these guns are. But I can tell you what, why in the world was law enforcement asking her about these guns in 2020? They found them just like I found them. Because they're probably like, holy shit, these are the fucking, this is what we're looking for. This is what the test results came back at. And and they don't. She lies and she says that she's never seen these before. She has no idea, doesn't know. This was Drake's family's guns originally. I don't know if they were ever given to Jen or possibly Bryan, but law enforcement, Jennifer Drake lied to you. After she lied to you, did you maybe think to yourself, okay, maybe she doesn't remember because it was so many years back. Maybe that's it. Well, then when you followed up with their mom, with the mother-in-law, or actually Bryan's mom, why didn't you ask Bryan's mom about the guns? Don't know why you lying. Ridiculous. Lana got me blocked. Don't know why. Well, clearly Lana's got you blocked because Lana wouldn't be able to see that shit. They can still test her guns. They can see any new gun purchases. They can trace. No shit. They can do all these things. They're not doing them. They gave this to Jennifer Drake, showed her these pictures. Jennifer Drake said that she's never seen these before. Wow. I mean, this is like, we're talking about in the first couple weeks of the investigation. Okay. Then Jennifer Drake tells you that Bryan has never cheated on me. And you know what I was sitting here telling you guys? You know what? I don't know if Bryan has ever cheated on her, because technically if they were doing it together, as in swinging, as in banging people together, then it's not cheating, right? It's a lifestyle. And I have a lot of friends. You're never going to hear me knock that lifestyle. You do what you do. You're just not going to come rocking my boat. You know, you're not going to, but I'll be the first supporter. I'll be waving my, bell around. So, well, Jennifer Drake can think everything that she wants, that Bryan Drake was never cheating on her. But I want to talk about this angle of life. Good Christian people. Okay, good Christian people. If you're a follower of the Christ Almighty, Lord, our Savior, they usually aren't in the lifestyle of swingers. Okay, that's totally against the Bible. All right. So I wanted to have absolute 100% proof of what I'm about to say, and I got it. I told you guys that everything was indicating these messages, everything that was going on. I told you what it looked like, and I said, I've seen this before. I told you guys the different experiences. I brought to you guys the white rose or whatever the hell it's called. Well, let me bring you this. Okay. In September of 2016, Jennifer Drake, Bryan Drake, and Tatiana Formica are in a 3-way group chat. And Jennifer, at 10:34 in the morning, writes the group chat, "By the way, I am headed right now to look for some lingerie. Did you already pick some up?" Now, raise your hands out there if you've ever been married to somebody and that you started a group chat with a friend, your husband or your wife, you two, and then a friend, and then write in this group chat. So Jennifer Drake writes, "By the way, I'm heading right now to look for some lingerie. Did you already pick some up?" Or I'm sorry. Yeah, did you already pick some up? Tatiana responds in a minute, "Not yet, comma, tonight." Meaning like not yet, but she's planning on going there tonight. "Maybe if you find something, then just get it from me and I can stop by tonight and pay for it." Because she wants to buy it for Jennifer Drake to wear. How do I know that? Well, because Jennifer then says, "Okay, I will send you pictures to see if you like it. I still owe you $30 though." Now, I cannot recall the last time that I was in a group text message 3-way with the person I'm dating. And somebody that's a couple's friends of ours, just one of them in bringing just one in and saying that I am now going to go and take pictures of me in this lingerie and send it to and to see if you like it. That is not, the Bible tells you not to do these things. You guys do understand that, right? Like, this is not Bible-like. This is not godly. This is not Christian-like, right? This is a sin. An absolute fucking sin. How dare them? I'm all for it. I'm like, yeah, let's go. Woo. Get on with your bad self. All right. So I went over to Cy and Carrie's to ask any questions I could think of that I wanted to ask. And one of my questions was this, and I'm going to show this on the screen so you guys can follow along with why I asked one of my questions. It has to do with Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi. Oh, and by the way, let me ask you this. Don't you think it would kind of be important for the police to know that Bryan and Jennifer were 100% swingers, or whatever they want to call themselves? Maybe they don't want to label themselves, but they were 100% doing this type of stuff with couples, and they would go on trips with them and do things and go to like the dockside and stay at that nice place down in Coeur d'Alene. They would have like their little meetups. And I mean, this was like, don't you think that when a man would be dead and murdered, don't you think that this lifestyle needs to come out and be talked about in the murder of a man? Like, this isn't something that they did back in the day. This is something that continued. How do I know that? Well, because normally you're not friends with people, like, if you had to get away from that lifestyle, then like you're not hanging out with those people anymore because it wouldn't be healthy for your relationship. Okay. Well, just recently, as in a couple months ago, Jennifer Drake and Tatiana were seen out spotted with, I have camera crew, and we have their pictures together back a couple months ago, being out and about publicly. And no, I'm not stalking anybody. I don't need to do that. People just post public sites. You can just get whatever you want publicly. And so Jennifer Drake hanging out with Tatiana and a group of girls. So here I'm going to share. I don't know. Somebody's talking about empty threats. Kim, I have no idea what's going on, but let's see. I'm going to share this photo. And my question was, is let's say that I'm sleeping. If I'm sleeping in my house. Well, here, we'll just use Bryan Drake, for example. Bryan Drake, when he had his office in Bonners Ferry, he didn't have Wi-Fi. He was such a cheap ass. He didn't even have Wi-Fi. Okay. His wife, Jennifer Drake, would not let him have like Google and stuff like that because he had a porn addiction, allegedly. A porn addiction. How can you even care about your man having a porn addiction when you guys are banging people together? Okay, like I just came, like, how do you even have that conversation? Hey, honey, listen, you're not going to look at this porn, right? But hey, next weekend, we're totally meeting up with Tatiana and her husband because I'd be like, excuse me? Excuse me? I'm dead. Like, weird, right? So yeah, he wasn't allowed to have Google. He was like locked down. He could, so he had like, they would get in arguments. He's like, I want the damn ESPN app. And she's like, no. Wild stuff, right? So he didn't have Wi-Fi, but when Hank Willis, who was the dentist that shared that little building at one point, he had Wi-Fi. And so did Kip Hartman, but Bryan asked if he could use Kip Hartman's Wi-Fi, and they said no. The reason that you can't is because we have a bunch of like people, because of what they do for a living. Like, no, we can't have you on our secured site. Like, he's an accountant and blah blah. But the dentist guy, he allowed him to be on his Wi-Fi. He's in like the same building, and so yes, Sherry D, crazy. Wait, your hubby has an addiction, then he clocks in and each other. This is, you guys, this is real life. Okay, this is wild. So here, Bryan doesn't have Wi-Fi at his Bonners Ferry office because he's not going to pay for it. Like I said, it's cheapy cheaps. So Bryan Drake is connecting to right next door. You guys know the coffee shop, which is called the Deli, Far North Coffee Lodge. But when they set up their Wi-Fi before, it was called the whatever. It was the Far North Deli. And so I was looking at Bryan Drake's connections, and I'm like, wait a second, this doesn't make sense. But maybe it does, but it's just not making sense to me because I just think something's off here. Meaning this, if Bryan Drake, he was sleeping in his office, so he would see patients on Mondays in Bonners Ferry, he would spend the night there. Then he would wake up in the morning on Tuesdays and drive and head back towards Hayden. But on Tuesdays, he would see patients in Sandpoint. So he would like be heading back. Then on Thursdays, he'd get up early in the morning, come back on out to Bonners Ferry and spend the night in Bonners Ferry on Thursday. And then same thing on Friday morning, he would get up and drive. And if he had patients in Hayden or if he had patients in Sandpoint, whatever. But he was spending the night on Mondays and Thursdays. Okay. And during the day, he was always connected to Hank Willis's, the dentist's, Wi-Fi. And I realized that it was like, okay, he's connected to Hank's, that's in his building. Like, then what I would notice is it would go from, he'd be at Hank, then it would go at like 9:53 p.m. All right, so at for example, at 7:45 p.m., he's connected to Hank's Wi-Fi, which is literally in the same building as he is. It's like it's the same building he was killed in. There was 3 offices there. And so you're in literally underneath the same roof, right? It's not that big. So at 7:49 or 7:45 and 49 seconds, he's connected to Hank's Wi-Fi. Then at 9:53 and 24 seconds p.m., he's connected then to Far North Deli as a guest. Okay. And let me grab, hold on. BRB. All right, back. Hold on, sorry. All right, so yeah, really quick here then, because I wanted to keep this at 1 hour and 30. We're already past it. So then homie G, he's over there. Okay, yeah. So like I said, he's over on Hank's, which is in his building. And then all of a sudden he goes and he's on the Far North Coffee Wi-Fi guest. And it goes like 9:53, 9:54, 10:30, 11:50, 1:33 a.m., 3:30 a.m. And all the times that are super late, like anything that's after 9 p.m. till 7 o'clock in the morning, are on the Far North Coffee Deli one. And so I thought to myself, I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, let me think about this. How am I switching to that Wi-Fi? Like, I'm under the building that if I'm supposed to be sleeping and in my building and on my little pull-out shitbag couch, the only way that I think it would make sense that I'm going to be switching Wi-Fis in the middle of the night, okay, is that if I'm physically getting up out of the fucking bed and I'm over in connecting to that Wi-Fi, because like I asked Cy and Carrie, why would this happen? Would it give me the option? Would I be getting like or is it just going to automatically connect? Like if I've already connected, okay? And yeah, it's just automatically going to connect if I has already connected, because it's going to go based off of the strength, okay? And so if I'm on the dentist one, because it's strong, because I'm underneath my same building, for it to move then and connect to that coffee one, which is next door, it has to do it because it's getting a stronger connection. It's because I'm leaving off of the one when I'm physically walking, okay? And I'm going over to the coffee lodge. And so Brian Drake, before he realized how he needed to have his phone locations off and shit like that, back in 2017, 2018, all this crap, Brian Drake was not smart enough with his phone. And all of those passing of the routers, when he would go on to a Wi-Fi, it was catching it. Maybe, if I don't want to say router, but when he would go, because he was already on it, and it would just automatically connect when you get close like that. You guys, every time he's in Bonner's Ferry, like, who the fuck looked at this data? The motherfucker is not sleeping. I want to know what they were doing and what they were moving and what they were doing in the middle of the night over there at that coffee lodge. Because it is consistent. This isn't just like a one-time thing. This is every single Monday and Thursday. That motherfucker was out there. He's getting off the dentist and getting on, and he's under, and he continues just to stay right there. And then when he goes back and gets either on the dentist one or he's like leaving that out of town, it's at 7, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. He's literally at 10, 11 o'clock at night getting onto that. And guess who owns that? That is Marty Ryan's. So this is the cops. That's Marty Ryan's wife's family's shit. They had cameras all over that motherfucker. Those cameras, I told you guys, I have a witness. They caught the shit. There was video footage of stuff. ISP saw it. The local saw it. There was a drive-through camera. There was 5 cameras. 5 cameras from the night of the murder. You know how I know this? Because I have the 2020 stuff from that. I will never put that out. That can come out in trial. But there's witnesses that worked there, text messages with local law enforcement, and then there's people that are accusing people of stealing toilet paper because they were seen on camera, and all that this person was, they weren't stealing anything. They were reloading like toilet paper, so it looks like you're carrying toilet paper from all these different buildings because that guy owns a couple of them. Wild shit. That's all just 5. Yeah, that coffee place had 5 cameras. And they're over here saying, yeah, nothing, that those cameras don't record. You guys are so full of shit. Because these employees got called in and were like, ISP was the one that told them, hey, I think that you have an employee stealing from you. Because ISP saw the video. And then ISP is the one saying, same with like local law enforcement acting like these videos don't exist. These videos exist. And they're in text messages of conversations between the employees and the owner talking about this. So how are you going to get around that now? Anyways, a lot of Bob jobs here. I have no idea what Idaho State Police they're doing. I have no idea what local law enforcement's doing. But whatever Brian Drake was into with the people that are doing stuff out of that coffee shop, that coffee lodge, all right, and their lifestyle, we're going to act like that doesn't. This man was murdered. And he wasn't murdered because he was taking patients from Dr. Moore. Okay. Your spouse doesn't lie about things. Like, who cares? Tell them whatever. Tell them the truth. Even if you want to say, okay, like here, a lot of people don't know this about us, but da 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 da, and we just don't want anybody to know, blah blah blah. No, that's not how any conversation went with Jennifer Drake. So, but law enforcement knew all these things. How do you know all of this stuff and not investigate it? And that's where my question, that's why I have a hard time accepting that they're just bad. That they're just bad. Because it's like the Sandra Birchmore case. Okay. You don't miss those text messages. You don't miss the fact that her phone stops moving after the guy leaves. You don't miss those things as an investigator, as a detective. You do not miss those things. And so in this case, it's the same thing. You do not miss these things. And they didn't miss them. They just buried them. And that's what they did with Sandra Birchmore's case. They didn't miss that shit. They buried that shit. And then you got to ask yourselves, what would be the same thing in a Sandra Birchmore type case, in a Brian Drake case? What's going to be your similar piece there? And it's one thing. Why'd they bury stuff in the Sandra Birchmore case? It was cops helping who? Cops helping cops out, right? That's what happened in Sandra Birchmore's case. That's why the feds had to do what they just did. Because cops buried the truth for another cop. Okay. Wait, who owns the coffee shop, lodge, all that crap? Marty Ryan, the assistant chief of police, his family that he married into. What? They've been married for fucking high school. Oh, really? So wait, why would Idaho State Police do anything like it's no different than the Massachusetts State Police burying the Sandra Birchmore case with the locals there. This would be no different than Idaho State Police burying stuff for the local law enforcement there. And I think that's what we have. Because you just can't miss this shit. You literally cannot miss this type of shit. Brian Drake's run all over town. Nothing to see here. Jennifer Drake's lying to the cops. Jennifer Drake's saying she's calling 911. There's no phone. There's no phone records. There's no nothing. Eyewitnesses are saying that this happened at 7, not at 7:30, not 7:26. Surveillance cameras are backing those eyewitnesses that are saying, oh, hey, when this person came walking by and I talked to them, yeah, oh God, that was like 30 minutes after the shots. Oh, and what time did that person come back on the camera? Oh, 7:32. Like, it's very simple math here. 7:32 minus 30 minutes is what? Oh, it's 7 o'clock, 7:02. Fuck out of here. How do you let a 19-year-old and a 17-year-old punk lie to you when you hear the words like, oh, police have egos? How does that happen? Because someone told you to bury it. Because even though you caught it, someone told you to bury it. Unbelievable. And then they did it. They buried it. And they went and fucking framed this chiropractor, 63-year-old doctor, who literally has the smoothest hands. You know, people have smooth hands. Like they're very gentle people. Okay. You never can feel someone's hands. Feel if they have rough hands, smooth hands. Yeah, very smooth hands. Not a killer. I want to feel if someone has rough hand or smooth hands. It's a killer. Let me know. OJ Simpson, smooth hands or hard hands? Hard hand. Those calluses over here. Oh, shit. Yeah, so. All right, you guys rock on your way out. Thumbs it up, share it, do your thing. Any questions? What do you guys think? Crazy? Oh, gloves. They work in an industry. They wear gloves. Maybe. How is my channel being shared with Idaho State Police, the feds, and no one's doing anything about this? They just whoa. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, love you, Kim. What's up, girl? No killer in here. Sex lies videotapes. I should put up a poll. Who thinks Jennifer Drake's is involved in her husband's death? I didn't say she killed him. Involved. So this is my latest post in the Moore case as well. I have so much shit. Who was Bryan Drake banging right before he was killed? That's my question. I think I'm this close to being able to connect some dots. I wrote and said, with this case, let's see. I said September 7th, 2024. The trial is this January 2025. A wrongful death claim by the widow of Bryan Drake, Jennifer Drake, is suing Dr. Daniel Lee Moore and Jane Doe, by the way. And Jane Doe. She's suing the wife because it's just part, you're married. But she's calling the wife Jane Doe. Jennifer Drake upped her game, by the way, and she added punitive damages to her complaint. The judge said, okay, yes, that's right, folks. Jennifer Drake is looking for another payday. Remember, she's already gotten $1 million out of this, plus $60,000 GoFundMe. Jennifer Drake has the burden in this civil case to show a jury of her peers that by the preponderance of the evidence presented, that a reasonable person could conclude that it is more probable than not that Dr. Daniel Lee Moore committed acts that caused the death of her husband. Bryan Drake was shot on March 12, 2020 in Bonners Ferry at approximately 7:26 p.m., according to Jennifer Drake, as she has alleged that she was on the phone with him when he was shot and killed. Jennifer Drake claims that she was at her home in Hayden, Idaho, and sitting next to her daughter when she was finishing up a 9-minute and 15-second phone call with her husband when all of a sudden he yelled out and said, "Ouch, ouch, I think someone hit me. I think someone just shot me through the window." Jennifer Drake claimed that she couldn't get anything more out of her husband as the phone call went black. Jennifer Drake claims she was yelling for him and he wasn't answering her. When interviewed by Idaho State Police detectives, Jennifer told law enforcement that she ended her phone call with her husband and then immediately used the same cell phone, her only phone, as they do not have a landline, to call 911. It should be noted that during a preliminary hearing that would take place 8 months later in October of 2020, in connection with this case, the prosecution would struggle to admit into evidence any 911 call, ultimately resulting in no 911 call being admitted into evidence, even though there was an alleged 3 different 911 callers in connection with shots fired in Bonners Ferry on 3/12/2020. As a result, there was never an official record made by official reports on what time all of this truly occurred and in what order all of the 911 calls came in, and any trace, trap, and locate information offered at a preliminary hearing to back the narrative of Jennifer Drake and law enforcement. In addition, one would have to ask themselves, How such a debacle could even occur in this day and age at a preliminary hearing as to not have anyone from law enforcement be able to testify to the admittance of an official 911 call recording or multiple, as multiple existed in this case. One does not have to look far to understand why this would have happened. I'm sorry, again, one does not have to look far to understand why this happened. And it's simple. This huge problem was known to exist to local, state, and national law enforcement, and someone in a leadership role made the decision to ignore it. This will be shown at trial, in my opinion. Law enforcement had such resources as Jennifer Drake's phone records, Cellbrite report, and law enforcement dispatch records, and all of those records bear the same results. Jennifer Drake did not dial any 911 call from her only cell phone on 3/12/2020. Not only do none of those records exist, when a FOIA was requested on the 911 records from Kootenai County Dispatch in connection with this case from March 12, 2020, the records came back as not known to exist. There was no call ever made. No report of a Jennifer Drake calling 911 at any point on 3/12/2020, and that call being transferred to any other dispatch, as she stated to law enforcement when initially interviewed. At a preliminary hearing, Jennifer Drake took the stand to attempt to introduce her own 911 call, which is anything but normal. But nonetheless, the prosecutor called her to the stand. But during her direct examination, Tevis Hall, who, by the way, is dead now. He was found dead on the side of the road from an apparent heart attack. No autopsy was done. But nonetheless, the prosecutor called her to the stand. But during her direct examination, Tevis Hall, the prosecutor, never even asked her what time she called 911 and from what device, and if this was confirmed by law enforcement at any time during her interview process. Instead, Jennifer Drake only testified to her phone call time with Bryan Drake and what time that call ended, and the hearsay from the phone call. Even though Moore's attorneys did object to the hearsay, the judge overruled, citing the utterance, blah, blah, blah. And so Jennifer Drake was dismissed, by the way, though, as a witness after being inadequate on the stand for the purpose of the prosecution publishing the 911 call. They were not able to go through her. Now, another update I did, which was, this was a good one, 2 days ago. 2 days ago. Make sure you guys get everything. Oh, boy. That's not what I was trying to do. Damn it. Bless America. Okay, breaking news in the Bryan Drake murder case. Text messages uncovered by Truth and Transparency from 2016 prove that Jennifer Drake and Bryan Drake lived a very different lifestyle than the one portrayed in the public eye. This hidden lifestyle could have changed the path of the investigation if Jennifer Drake would have been honest with Idaho State Police. However, she struggles with the truth and being truthful. Bryan and Jennifer Drake between 2016 to 2020 could be seen at the Heart of the City Church multiple times per week. And when they weren't being attentive, loving, and caring parents, they were sharing sexy time with select friends, mainly couples. But nothing should be wrong about the Drakes living their best life. And that's not what this is about. So why not just be honest about that lifestyle when asked by the Idaho State Police? It is one thing to be discreet. It is another thing to lie after your partner is murdered. Pictured below is Tatiana Formica, one of the first women Bryan and Jennifer snatched up when they moved from Texas to Idaho. Tatiana is beautiful, funny, and well, she seems like she'd be a lot of fun. Tatiana has bought Jennifer Drake lingerie, and Jennifer Drake posed for pictures with that lingerie for both Bryan and Tatiana in a three-way chat. For some reason, they left out Tatiana's husband. He normally is invited to the play dates. Pictured below is Tatiana in a photo with Jennifer Drake during one of their meetup sessions for some hanky-panky. You guys like that lingo or what? Coming soon. The next bombshell, which I just said today. Jennifer Drake lied to police about knowing 3 guns, all 3 matching Drake's ballistics lab testing, and who owned them and where they could be found. These 3 guns were shown to Jennifer Drake during her police interviews. They were also shown after her phone was downloaded by Cellbrite. Truth and Transparency has found the 3 guns, the text messages that prove Jennifer Drake has seen the guns before, knows about the guns, and knows who owns the guns. In addition, Truth and Transparency has also identified who the original gun owner was and possibly still is. But the only question I have and law enforcement should have is who was in possession of said guns in 2020 and were those guns ever tested? And why not? The things that make you go, why wouldn't Jennifer Drake just identify the guns and state who the owner was? I mean, they weren't her guns. So what's the problem? Why lie to the police? P.S. These are all allegations above belong to myself. And just to be clear, just like anyone else, Jennifer Drake is no different, and she is innocent until proven guilty. I just would have a big problem as a law enforcement officer if I was lied to, right? They usually have a problem with that. But in Idaho, fuck yeah, lie to me, man. I love it. All right, guys, take care until next time. What? Peace. Now let's get in the hot tub. Today's episode was sponsored in part by Viagra. Joining the fun, Tatiana seems to. Cheers, Tatiana. Next week's sponsor is, I don't even know, Trojan. When someone needs it big, go big or go home. Trojan.